How's it going, folks? Welcome to the Nightmare Cabin. I've got a music review for you, and this is the first new album of 2024. This is the bewildering, devastating new album from Vitriol. This is Suffer and Become. I've just took it out of cellophane wrap, so let's have a look. I think that's going to look awesome as a vinyl. Probably should have got it on vinyl, really, but I find vinyls, it's just too much of a commitment nowadays. I ain't got the room for it, and you're looking at like between 30 and 40 quid now for a vinyl. It's just getting ridiculous. Right, the booklet's not really, you've got all your information in there, but trust me, folks, this one, the music speaks for itself anyway. So you got a skeleton there on the front that's full of snakes, probably been stripped of all its flesh, but then you've got a particular bird of prey there with a mangled up snake amongst its feet. So there you go, cool artwork. I've been following Vitriol pretty much since day one, so I can't remember if I've done a video about them before though. So I'll start from the beginning. I first got made aware of Vitriol. It was Jay Fernandez from Brutality shared a video of the main guy in the band, Kyle. Oh, what's his surname? Kyle Rasmussen. I hope I pronounced that right. And he was doing like playthrough videos, like filming them in his room. And apparently people were making fun of him because he was like, head banging along and pulling funny faces, and like he was getting really into it. And Jay made the point, I don't see why people are making fun of him. He's playing with passion, and it's nice to see. So I watched the video and watched a couple of other videos and just took note of the name and checked them out. And I got their first EP. I could have sworn I had this on 7-inch somewhere, but I can't find it. So, but yeah, so I got this EP. And they put out a single after this as well, but I think that was just a digital download. Yeah, so you got four tracks on here, and then a single. So this is Pain Will Define Their Death, and they were just a whole package. They were technically brilliant. They were pushing the envelope in terms of being extreme, but there was just something to them that there was soul in the music, and it was very much in the realm of, it was Morbid Angel, Monstrosity, Hate Eternal, Nile, but it was in the tradition of the great bands, but it was pushing ahead. You could tell there was something there, and yeah, so I kept an eye on them, and I think I reviewed this for Brutalism.com. I'm not sure if I reviewed this for... I might have reviewed it for Metal Legion. I don't remember. Did I do a video? I don't think I did. I don't think I had a YouTube channel. This is 2019, so the world's changed since then. But yeah, obviously, I wasn't the only one that saw the potential. I wasn't the only one that saw the potential. Because they got signed to Century Media. I'm just flicking through the book here to see if there's anything. Yeah. Oh, same video, same picture there in the. This is the EP. All 5 of the songs, so the 4 songs on this and the single that they put out was re-recorded for this. And yeah, it was good to see them with an album out. And this album is fucking amazing. Again, just utter brutality, but done right. Little subtle parts of melody just edged in just to move the song along, and they were just phenomenal. And I saw them, it was Nile, Hate Eternal and Vitriol. Amazing gig, and Vitriol really did themselves proud opening for them 2 bands. And yeah, it just felt like the new, there was the passing of the torch, or not passing of the torch, I mean Nile and Hate Eternal are still going, but they were the perfect bands to open up for those 2 bands, should we say. And you could see that they had the chops to walk amongst the greats of the genre. They could stand up to them, and yeah, I can't believe it. It's 2024 now. It's yeah, I can't. So that was Niall. That was Niall's first tour without Dallas. So Vile, what was it? Vile Nilotic Rights hadn't come out yet. It came out later that year, but they did play 2 songs off the new album. So it was like a preview of some new material. And yeah, so that was really good. And obviously, the scandemic happened. The world stopped turning and all the rest of it. But we're back relatively up to normal now. And a band have finally put out a second album. And yeah, so it feels to me like this album feels like it's actually their third or their fourth. It feels like we've skipped ahead. I don't know if they just wrote a bunch of songs and they've just carried on writing and they've just gone, right, we're just going to put the latest ones out or what. But you've got a slightly different lineup as well. So you've got the main 2 guys, Kyle, who I mentioned on vocals and guitar, and Adam Roethlisberger, I think that is. Again, I probably butchered that. I do apologise. But this time around, you've got a new drummer, Matt Kilner, who's been in Gorgasm and a bunch of other bands. And they recorded this as a 4-piece as well. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, they're a 3-piece on the first album. So this one, they're a 4-piece. So they've got a second guitarist and a new drummer. And it was Stephen Ellis that plays guitar on this. Now, on the opening track, sort of opening, like first couple of seconds of the opening track, Shame and Its Afterbirth, it's apparent immediately that the band have massively moved on. And they're adding... So they're building on the foundation of these 2, or on this album. They've built on it and expanded, and they're adding a lot more textures and soundscapes and melodies to the brutality of the songs, and it's just giving it an extra layer, an extra edge, and it's just opened up the band's music, and it's just added so much more to it. You've got these subtle little melodies playing all through it, but it's still the devastating heaviness comes in. As the songs climax, pretty much all through the album, you've got like subtle keyboards on there as well, just like it feels like a string arrangement. It feels quite cinematic, so it's just like dun, 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 just in the background while all this chaos is going on. And the video to this actually is also a playthrough video, and you can see the complexity of the riffs that they're playing and the solos as well. There's solos are just absolutely, they're just shredding, and yeah, it's hard to describe. It's really hard. The second track as well, The Flowers of Sadism, it's actually got like a massive groove to it as well. It's like a real and it's just pummeling towards the end. I mean, this drummer is he's just off the scale. I mean, I didn't think music could get any heavier. I just thought, yeah, we've pretty much reached the pinnacle. I think the band that really, I was just like, right, you can't get any heavier than this, was the Berserker. I thought that was it. Like, this technically, you cannot drum faster than that. But these guys have found out a way to do it. So you've got this nice, I wouldn't even say it was nice. It's just this dark, melodic, soundscapey bit coming on, and then the drums kick in, and you've got this song that builds up to this devastating climax with this phenomenal solo going over the top. Then you've got the Flowers of Sadism, where you've got this massive groove thrown in the middle of the song. It goes real slow, and again, it's just pummeling towards the end. It's just devastating. It is like the apocalypse is coming through your speakers. And then you've got songs like the Isolating. The writing on this is a bit weird. The Isolating Lie of Learning Another. That's a really good. That's got a bit of a doomy feel to it at the beginning as well. But do you know what the thing that sets the album apart, and it really, makes you take note, is in the middle. You've got this beautiful instrumental called "Survival's Careening Inertia," which leads into the next song, "Weaponized Loss." Weaponized Loss, and this is just a beautiful song. It's just got beautiful melodies, and it's technical, and it paints like this picture, and then you got this blast beating drum kicks in underneath it. And I thought to begin with, I was like, does the blast beat really need to be underneath this? Would have been just nice as the guitar, but the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. And yeah, I say quite a lot. I miss the instrumental. I miss Orion and On Vacant Planets and songs like that. You don't really get them that much nowadays, but so I do appreciate it when we do get an instrumental, and it's just smack bang in the middle, and it just gives you a breather before throwing you back in to the chaos again. And then all through the album, really, I mean, it is just an assault. It's just a barrage, a wall of sound, but it rewards repeated listens. The more you listen to this, just in the chaos of it all, it starts to take form, and the picture starts to form, and it starts to make more sense. The best analogy I can use is like a magic eye paint. Do you remember those magic eye paintings when you just be staring at this, this thing of paint, and then all of a sudden the image just makes something happens with your eyes, and the image comes into place. It's a bit like that, but it's much like Hate Eternal and Internecine, bands like that. Some elements of Morbid Angel, but and Monstrosity as well, but it's up there. This is up there with later Death and bands like that. Like, they are pushing death metal forward and pushing the limits of extremity, and doing it tastefully as well. Not doing it for the sake of it. Not just doing it just to assault you. Like there's a point to that. There's art in this. And this morning I watched the video. They've just put out They put out a couple of videos. One was a playthrough. I think one was like I can't remember if they did a video for the Flowers of Sadism, but they've done a full, fully fledged full budget video for the final track. We Will Fight Savagely, and yeah, that was pretty disturbing. They're doing that whole. There was a thing in the 90s. I saw it in a couple of documentaries where they were. I remember seeing this documentary about tattoos and piercings, and how the more extreme side of it. People are literally cutting themselves and then letting the skin dry so you can see the muscles under your arm and that, and they were doing that thing where they put the hooks for the back and then just hang there, and they're just hanging. And yeah, don't float my boat, but if that's your thing. And I remember the singer from Society 1 used to do it as well, and he did a whole set at Download Festival just hanging from the but yeah, they do that in the video. I mean, and it's all pretty demonic looking, but if that's your thing, it was interesting to watch. I hope they didn't hurt themselves too much. But yeah, He Will Fight Savagely is a devastating closer, but it's a devastating album. So I think, again, death metal always kind of just pushed the boundary of how what can we do with this metal genre. So things got speeded up, and they thrash, and then thrash developed into death metal, and we're just pushing the envelope. And then you got bands like Morbid Angel, drummers like Pete Sandoval. You got drummers like Gene Hoglan, Derek Roddy. The list goes on, and and I think albums came out that were just when Rain in Blood by Slayer came out, like Dave Lombardo with the drums, especially on Angel of Death, it was like, right, drummers, this is your standard. You do this, you're not shit unless you can play this, and you need to push things forward. Then Pete Sandoval comes out, first Morbid Angel album, and then the first Terrorizer album. It's like, right, now this is what drummers, this is the standard, you know. So Altars of Madness comes out, you know, or Scream Bloody Gore. Then you got Altars of Madness. All the classics come out, right. These are the standards that we're measuring against. Then Cannibal Corpse come out. This is the standard. Then Nile come out with Black Seeds of Vengeance. Like, right, now this is the standard. Then Hate Eternal come out, and you know, right now this is what we're measuring against. I'm saying it, folks. Vitriol are the new band. This is gonna, and I don't even think this is the masterpiece yet. This is a terrific album, full of potential. The potential is being realised here, and they've massively moved on and evolved in their sound. In fact, I would say this feels like we've missed the second album. This feels like the third. This is Kill 'Em All, and this is Master of Puppets. You know, like, imagine the leap forward. It feels like we've skipped an album. It wouldn't surprise me later on if they've either dropped an album or they've dropped a bunch of songs since they put this out, and they've just gone straight ahead with this one, because there's a massive leap forward. And I think Vitriol are the band to watch. I do think they are a classic album, an undeniable, timeless classic album that's going to be, you know, it's going to be played in full in 20 years' time. It's going to have a special box set going to be released. It's going to be the album that future releases are going to be measured against, as well as the albums that came before it. We've got one of them coming with Vitriol, and both of these albums, if this is 8 or 9 out of 10, and this is 9, or this could be a perfect 10 out of 10. I've not listened to it enough to really put that sort of commitment to it, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10 now, and I'm enjoying what I'm hearing, and just I'm seeing all these hidden details come to the forefront the more I listen to it, and it's just heavy as fuck as well. It's just a really, really good album. And everything else is just added to it and just made it more intense and more dark and more, you know, bewildering. And yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, Vitriol are going to be the new standard setters. They have got an album. There's an album that's going to come out soon. I don't know if it's the next album be up before it, after it, but a reset button is going to be pushed by this band. Guarantee it. You heard it here first. So yeah, go check out Vitriol. You won't regret it. And again, I'm putting these in the same category. I'm putting them in the same sentence as Hate Eternal and Nile. That's how good this band is. This band needs to get an album produced by Eric Rutan. In fact, who produced this? I think, yeah, if Eric Rutan produced a Vitriol album. Oh, it's self-produced. Even better. Well, if this is what they're doing, if they're producing their own albums as well, their sky's the limit. But I'd like to. Oh, Suffer and Become. That's a detail I missed out. Right. The album's called Suffer and Become because apparently the band were suffering playing this stuff. Like, they were suffering recording it. And when you hear some of these riffs, some of these solos, and some of these drums, you know exactly where that title came from. And that's what brings to mind Eric Rutan, because Eric Rutan still records with analog tape. So it's like, no, I'm not clipping it. No, I'm not editing it. You're doing a perfect take. And if we're going to be here all night till you do it, so be it. You know, he gets the best out of his performances. And yeah, that lines up with what I see here. I should have said that at the beginning, but you know, I don't have a script. I just shoot from the hip. So there you go. Anyway, Vitriol, go check them out. You don't really need that. It's a bit more raw and a bit more thingy around the edges, but everything gets re-recorded for here anyway. So if you want that kind of demo pre-thing, yeah, get a lot, basically. There's no bad answer. But yeah, definitely check this out. I would actually say, if you haven't heard Vitriol, maybe check out the first album first to begin with, actually. So you've got that foundation laid. And then check. Yeah, if you haven't heard Vitriol before, I think you'd appreciate this album more if you hear the first album. So get both. But But yeah, if you're familiar with it, then jump straight in because this is fucking amazing. So there we go, folks. First review of the year of new music, at least. Onwards and upwards. See you all later. Have a good weekend. Cheers.